You're tuned into the new Old Heads podcast, premiered every Thursday at noon at BringingDownTheBand.com and brought to you by No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, and Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the new Old Heads by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/newoldheads.
Episode 120 of the New Old Heads podcast. I am 𝗏𝗄 𝗢𝗏𝗱. I make beats, I have a hard drive.
Who cares?
I'm not going to say what I normally say because Spoolz told me I got to find something else. So I'm still working on that.
It's just a suggestion.
Thank you, brother. In front of me, Lonegevity. How are you, sir?
I'm all right. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing good. Can't complain. Good to see you as always.
Yes, sir.
In the corner, fresh to death, rocking a Printfinity ensemble as well as a tree shot. DJ Jay Diff. That is your design, by the way, correct?
Salutations. Actually, me and TR.
Okay. Make sure you get that credit out.
Yeah.
But that is still as fresh. I actually caught one of those. I have a black one at the crib. So Printfinity doing what Printfinity does.
Exactly.
So we appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
I'm going to skip over the head of the table. I'm coming back. To my immediate left, the incomparable DJ Spoolz.
Hello, Michael.
How are you, sir?
Doing well. How are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I like the throwback 𝗏𝗏𝗱 𝗀𝗱. I see you out here.
Thanks, man. He's my favorite Notre Dame. Well, yeah, probably one of my favorite Notre Dame players of all time.
Okay. Not mad
He was
at that.
incredible. Watched him as a kid, you know.
Shout out to the bus.
Him and Rocket Ishmael, probably my top two.
Yeah,
Bus.
okay. Shout out to the bus. Super
And then
Bowl
Joe
champion.
Montana. I mean, it's hard, dude. There's a lot of good players.
Hannah Montana.
Joe Montana.
Hannah Montana.
Correct
It's
me if I'm wrong, Spoolz, but how many people get to win the Super Bowl in their hometown? Wasn't it in Detroit when Pittsburgh won?
I believe it
Am
was,
right?
yeah.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Jerome
Which
was
is really special. I mean, that was awesome for him, man. He's seems like a really great guy too. I've never met him, but he seems awesome, and you always hear pretty good things about him. And I like his commentary on football too. So
word.
shout out to 𝗏𝗏𝗱.
Shout out to the bus. And sitting at the head of the table, we have a guest, special guest today. This young man, I call him the greatest freestyler that I've ever heard in person, live. I stand on that. I will put him up against anyone. It's not a 2019 freestyle. We're talking about actually off the head, off the top. He's the best that I've ever seen in person, on wax, whatever you want to call it. He's the coldest. So anybody that wants to challenge this young man, I got my money on him. He's the coldest I've ever seen. Big Skittz is with us. Pro Forums, Cut Camp, Mud Kids. How are you, sir?
I'm good. You also Breakdown Kings.
Breakdown Kings.
Oh, I forgot.
No,
I
it's
stand
all good.
corrected.
That's why I'm here.
Balls deep in your love.
Shouts to those. Yeah.
The homie Skittz is with us. We
that's a good
appreciate
one.
you spending some time with us, brother.
No, I appreciate it as well. Long overdue. Long overdue.
Yeah, I agree. Long overdue. They say you out here in these streets, you know what I'm saying, getting 600 series and whatnot out here with your bowling game. Is that true? That's what I heard.
That is correct.
Oh, yeah. You just
I
gonna
would
leave it at
not. I would not say that I am on a consistent click
that? Okay.
for 600, but I believe my book average is a 192.
So for that 600, you probably shot 220, 240ish, and then about 180, 190.
Like a
somewhere in there.
189, a 235,
Yeah.
and something else in between that.
Okay.
I don't feel like doing the math right now.
It's all good. It's all good. Bottom line, we know you nice. You know what I'm saying?
Most weeks. Most weeks. Like tonight was a 193 average.
Okay.
That's,
I'm sure your squad is probably top 3, top 4 in the league.
I'm not good.
You-
I'm not the best one on the team.
It's all good. It's all
nah,
good.
we're
You
s-
nicer than me because I ain't been in a while.
Okay.
So
That's why.
yeah, I'm gonna give you a P. I'm nice though. I told Red August. Shout out to Red August. I told Red August I'll beat the brakes off him. We're gonna set it up for a medium boneless wing from what we say B-Dubs, Red August. Yeah, so we gonna bowl for that. Skittz will be
gotcha.
there.
That's
to,
the bet.
yeah, Skittz will be there to, I guess, officiate or whatever.
I heard you was out in
Jerome
Orlando
Bettis.
bowling. Playing golf with Trump. Is that true?
You're out there in Mar-a-Lago? Is that how it's pronounced?
Dang, Mike.
No, don't be drinking or bringing down
Nah,
the band cup when you do that.
Now I'm gonna let the violence go around real
Violence?
quick. Yeah, cyberbullying and whatnot. This is on the internet. Yeah, I was in Orlando. You know what I'm saying? Played a little golf, relaxed. Had to unplug for a little bit. It was fun.
You balling, huh?
No, No, I went out there on food stamps.
Oh,
Yeah. So
how's that work?
huh?
How's that work?
Southwest taking food stamps. You don't know nothing about that yet.
Evidently not.
Yeah,
No,
I'll tell you about it.
That's why you can stick your debit card in the luggage.
Yeah.
Got that
And
right.
leave it in that bitch.
I ain't spent no bread though. Look at the Lord. 77 degrees in Orlando was very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, so had a good time.
I'm sure you did.
Man,
Shut-
oh man.
How about that?
Shout out to that book of food stamps. All right, so episode 120. Before we get started,
Where'd you get this book of food stamps though? Because food stamps haven't came in a book
In a minute.
since maybe the late 80s,
okay,
probably.
I feel you. So you just count my pockets now because I use a book of food stamps.
No, I mean they might be worth some money
They
if
still
you got
good?
a
You know what I
for
mean?
real
Like, I
That's
don't know
that's
if
the
they're-
question.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe it just kind of shows how much you're really fabricating everything you're saying.
No. So what you're saying is you're making fun of people that
I got
that
it.
use food stamps.
He had the food stamp card. It was left inside his luggage as well,
Okay.
so he wasn't able to eat.
Shout out to the link
This
card.
is all making sense now.
Shout out to the link
I-
card that people get in Chicago that Jay
no.
Diff is making fun of. We see y'all. Use what you got to use.
Okay.
If you used a book,
Yeah.
that's fraud.
Somebody's getting cheated.
That's fraud.
Yo. If Skittz, I got a lot of respect for Skittz. So if he says I use a book of food stamps
Is it
illegally,
fraud
we're
or
gonna roll
false
with that.
advertising?
Ooh.
Hey man, a book of car,
See what you did
book
there.
of stamps is
Yeah.
not. There's no chip reader in that.
Okay.
Just chip reader these days.
Well, since everybody on here is told on me, we can go ahead and get started now. The
Oh, we
feds-
didn't tell the story, but
I mean, they'll be
ahead.
looking for me anyway. 'cause
Told
it-
on yourself, Michael.
Thank you, Bradley. Episode 120. Shout out to the sponsors, Coleman Dental, 317-255-8546. Printfinity, as always, is a brand. We shouted them out with the fresh donuts joint there. Bringing down the band, as always, is the hub. Indie CD and vinyl as well. We appreciate their partnership also. Did I leave anybody no bad ideas? As always, they lace us as well. So let's go ahead and jump into. I shouted you out. Jay Moore's in the building as well. He's running around here somewhere. Well, we talked about our bet. They know you here, Red August. Shout out to Red August.
Say my name, say my name.
Everybody always all in the videos trying to.
everybody.
All right, so I believe it's. I'm gonna try it. Kamala Harris, I believe. If I
thought it
said it wrong, I apologize.
Maybe I thought it was
That's
Kamala.
that lady name.
That's the.
There we go.
Thank you, Jay Diff.
Miss
So
Harris.
she was on a Breakfast Club. I did not see the interview, but I saw my timeline on social media being flooded with what she, I guess, said about a couple hip hop artists. So, Tupac, Snoop, she said she listened to them in college. Jay Diff, we had this convo prior to coming on.
How old is she?
I'm gonna get to that now.
Oh,
She said
okay.
she smoked weed as well in college, but from what I saw, she graduated from law school in 1989. So
We gotta go back to when she actually graduated from
Howard would have been 86.
86.
Yeah,
Yeah.
86. And then law school 89.
89.
So
Neither one of
man,
those artists were out.
Man, she's in the underground, huh?
she's definitely in the underground. So
She was
at-
cutting edge.
She was ahead of the curve. So, J Diff, since you and I were talking about this, I guess more than anyone else before we came on, how do you feel about that, man? Like, how big is that blunder? Because that looks pretty stupid when you think about the hip hop timeline. That's really stupid to say something like that.
It's hogwash.
Hogwash.
I'm gonna use a term that me and some of my cats back in school used to use, TBL,
TBL.
which is funny because that's actually popular now
Mm-hmm.
because of the Chris Brown situation. He made these shirts that say "This bitch lying." But real talk,
see.
we used to say TBL, like if we were in a situation and we didn't want anybody to know what we was talking about,
Yeah.
and somebody said something, we'd be like TBL.
Oh, man. That's tough.
So we've been on that shit.
Okay.
We expect to check Chris Brown. But anyway, she on some bullshit. I mean, how were you listening to Tupac and Snoop in 86 or 89?
Right. Right.
It would have been different if she said Public Enemy or
It would.
like Big Daddy Kane or
Rock him or something like that.
something like that.
Yeah.
But
Chubb
come
Rock.
on.
Yeah. Shout out to Chubb Rock.
Tupac and Snoop.
Yeah. That's
Snoop
tough.
first album came out in 93. 93, I believe.
Yeah.
Tupac's first album came out in 92, 93.
90, 91, maybe?
90, 91?
I want
91,
Tupacalypse
92?
now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Tupacalypse now, because he was with Digital Underground and he
Right.
got his solo joint, but still that's out of the reference of time she used.
Absolutely. Not
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
So that's pretty bad, man. So I don't know. I really don't know what to say about that one. That's tough.
She seems like Hillary 2.0.
She is.
Explain.
Do I have to? I mean,
I'm just saying the comparison based off.
I mean, just she seems like a corporate Democrat.
Okay.
I don't know.
She wears whatever hat you tell her to wear.
Okay.
Yeah, she is very. I think she is very centrist as far as a Democrat is concerned. Which Hillary was as well. And I don't know how much. I don't know. I'm curious to see if who gets the most push out of who the Democrats select as far as their running mate. If it's more progressive, like along the Bernies. Who seems to have the most momentum as far as somebody that could run on that ticket, or somebody like Miss Harris, or Mrs. Harris. I don't know.
I believe she's married.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about her, but I've watched videos, and she just. And then this stuff you guys are talking about now does not surprise me at all. I mean, she's
definitely tried to lock up young men that weren't at fault.
So she was a prosecutor, right?
Yes.
She was a prosecutor? Yeah. Okay. I don't know a lot about her, but from what I've seen, she just seems to fit into that mold of what a Hillary was. Now, again, that's just from the outside looking in, so I could be completely wrong. But if y'all know more about her, please speak on her, because I'd like to know more about her. But
I'll be honest, I'm still trying to, I guess, get familiar. I'm to your point, I don't know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of going off what I saw. From the Breakfast Club, that obviously is going to stand out when you that far off, making those types of comments. But I still have more research I would have to do myself, just in terms of her as a candidate. Skittz, you got anything to say about that? Did it move you any way, or what do you think?
I didn't see the interview, hear the interview, or anything like that. But I will say, based on what you guys are talking about, the timeline's janky.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I did check, and she graduated from high school in 81. So
man, that's
my
tough.
first thought was, did she do something like Peace Corps? Was she off somewhere like to where that timed up that way? But it doesn't seem like it. So,
and it's not even that she does like. I think the part that stands out when I'm making the Hillary comparison is that Hillary, she was so transparent when she would go to shows like that, like trying to seem cool.
Right.
And it seems like she went there and just throwing out random names, to
got
try to
hot
seem
sauce.
cool.
I was going to say, didn't she bring hot sauce once?
It was just kind of like, well, you can just be yourself. It's all right.
Yeah.
You don't have to, You're
Jump in there, Spoolz. I'm sorry.
I unfortunately as well don't know a whole lot about all of this, but similar to what you guys have said, doesn't line up, and to the point Sean was making, probably doesn't help her chances of, getting backed by the party.
It depends.
As far as a ticket, just because the Democrats tend to seem to be more, I don't know, obviously more liberal. So stuff like that's going to resonate more, I think, with that party. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see Cory Booker maybe. I still like Cory Booker a lot as far as the Democrat, possibly getting the nod to run. But that's all I have to say about that.
That's all I have to say about that.
That's all I have to say about that. All right, moving on. Let's go to Gucci. The Gucci brand has been in the news for selling a sweater. I believe it's called the balaclava sweater. Retail $8.90 in stores.
It's $890, not $8.90.
$890 Spoolz.
Smackaroos.
No, that's insane.
That is correct. There's a picture of a young lady who's in that. It's a long sleeve joint. Collar goes all the way up, and it has the mouth is open. It has I don't want to say orange. What you guys call the color? Like
it's red.
Reddish.
It's red.
It's just
they're over exaggerated lips, right?
Yeah, around the mouth, and everybody's going crazy about that. Shout out to Floyd, because Floyd Mayweather, he clearly thought
I mean, he never gets the memo, so it's cool.
Bingo. Thank you, sir. But that joint was definitely offensive when I saw it. Francois Pinault, who's the CEO, said we're going to have to redouble the luxury branding cultural sensitivity training for our employees.
I'm tired of hearing about
what he said.
cultural sensitivity training.
Cultural sensitivity training.
Don't nobody need sensitivity training.
Hey, man.
We need some people in their right minds to get this shit right. I mean, why do we have to have this conversation every single year? If it's not Halloween, it's another time of year. Shit's not cool. It's not all right.
PSA, don't
Let
do
it
blackface.
Don't do that shit.
This is like a form of it.
Yeah, it's dumb. Why do we?
It's really crazy that we've done this at least 2 or 3 times. A kid in the ad a while back. We talked about that one. It's crazy that this stuff is continuing to resurface. There are some people that I've seen online that are like, oh man, here we go, black people complaining about something again, and I'm like, how is this not offensive from an African American standpoint? In my opinion, are people overreacting? I don't think so. When you actually look at it for what it is, to me, it's blatant. It's obvious what's going on here, what's trying to be, presented, and we've all talked about how this shit slips through a boardroom full of people that are making conscious decisions. Like, how does this happen? Right? So, Skittz, I want to come to you on this one. How did that one make you feel when you actually saw it?
You just really spoke to it. Like, there's a room of people. Like, somebody sat and looked at the designs, the sketches, all the, the mock-ups.
Yep.
And probably had it on a mannequin and brought it in a room in front of people and probably had a human being put it on and look at it. And that entire room of people, or at least the majority and the people that make the decisions, the key decision makers, said,
yeah, it looks good.
That's okay.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, let's roll with that. That's going to sell.
Let's get it shipped out there to Harlem.
No regard to anybody's feelings. Somebody, if not everybody in that room, knew that would be problematic. But my guess is that major market, wherever most of those dollars are coming from, they were willing to take the hit.
Right.
What's crazy is a lot of those dollars actually come from black consumers.
Yeah.
Black people purchase and consume more goods and clothes and things like that than any other race.
I would agree.
Collectively.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and then they have Dapper Dan actually works for Gucci.
Shout out to Dapper Dan. Legend.
Definitely.
Always been associated with hip hop.
But he wrote a letter in reference to that, saying that the director or whoever from Gucci is supposed to come down to Harlem and sit down and talk to him about the situation. But what kills me is, to your point, Skittz, as far as there's a boardroom where this shit gets hashed out.
Yeah.
And nobody raised a flag about the situation at all. And one thing that actually rubs me completely the wrong way is when people see something like this happens and they want to voice their opinion as far as why they're going to continue to buy the shit. Nobody cares that you have the money to buy it. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. There's no problem with that. But for you to pretty much, it's almost just like insulting everybody that looks like you just to say, oh, I got the money, I'm going to buy it any damn way. I mean, I seen people posting shit about Gucci, how they're still going to buy it and rock it or whatever. That shit's wild to me. And shout out to T.I. for actually starting a boycott, because he had a whole long post on his Instagram about
Big Soldier as well. I believe said he was gonna.
He said he was getting rid of the infamous headband.
Yes.
And getting rid of the Gucci tattoo between his eyes.
Yes.
So I mean, it's just one of them things. I'm not really mad because I'm not surprised. I'm more mad at people that want to go out there and, like I said, keep on supporting this shit when it's made to destruct people that look like you.
I can dig it. Spoolz, jump in.
No, I think you guys have summed it up pretty well. I don't think I feel too differently. It again blows my mind that stuff like this can hit the market, just because, again, of not even just the boardroom, but of all the steps taken, the drafts that are reviewed, and just everybody's familiar with some sort of creative process. You know what I mean? Like whether it's advertising or something, but it's nuts. And I think the whole like, there's been like what I'll call like flare-ups of blackface recently, because there was the politician in Virginia who came out and, you know, there were pictures of him at like a Halloween party in blackface, and then I know we'll probably talk about the Grammys later, but I think Katy Perry's shoes kind of look like black, and I just don't understand like why. Like, it wasn't cool last year, it wasn't cool 10 years ago, it wasn't cool 50 years ago, and it's not gonna be cool tomorrow. Like, let's just stop.
Hey, I seen something that was funny.
I just don't understand.
No offense to my white brethren here,
I'm already offended.
but somebody made a post. It was like
That's tough.
It was like white people want to paint everybody black, want to put blackface on everybody
I saw
except
that.
Jesus.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
Hey, that's just funny.
I have an interest. So I watched.
Shout out to the Evans household. Y'all,
Hey.
y'all will catch that if y'all know that.
Yeah,
y'all old
straight
enough.
up.
Shout out to the Evans household.
Are you guys
Good.
familiar with Sam Harris? I think he's a
I
podcaster.
don't think so.
I think his name's Sam Harris.
Perhaps you'll enlighten us.
I probably butchered his name, which is okay.
Okay.
He was on Joe Rogan's show recently, and so they were talking about cancel culture and stuff like that, and they were going back and forth about stuff. And the only reason I'm bringing that up, I'm probably butchered his name too. But anyways, they talked about the quote unquote social justice warriors, and they talked about how people get enraged about stuff and how people get too enraged about stuff. And I think this incident here is a perfect example of why it's perfectly valid, one, for people to have feelings of why does this keep happening, number one, but two, this is why people continue to be, I don't want to necessarily say angry, but be direct about calling this stuff, what it is. And there seems to be this like counter push from some people, majoritarily white people, that seem to lean center left, to want to say, well, when is enough as far as, this happened in their past. Does this mean that we have to cancel their life? Blase, blase, blah. And the only thing that I'm going to say, continuing about this, is that there has to be some level of accountability for these companies and for these people, in my opinion, for them to get over it. I may have done some shit in my past. I don't know. Possibly. Potentially. If something pops up and I'll be like, oh shit, I did that. Cool. I'm probably going to be accountable about it and call it out, and then I'm going to take it for what it is, right?
Right.
But I'm also from the standpoint that I feel like all white people are racist, but we've been there.
We have.
So anyways.
It's a tremendous point.
Yeah.
So I feel like the overlap that we're missing here is that I feel like white people get too sensitive sometimes about being called racist or about calling a racist act what it is, rather than just accepting the fact that, yes, this is racist. This is what it is. Accept it. Try to do better.
And learn from it.
And stop trying to deflect from the fact that it is racist. Like,
Yeah.
why do you need to argue that? Why are we arguing the subtle points of what it is just because your feelings are hurt a little bit that we're talking about racism?
Everybody wants to do the racist acts without being called racist.
Right. That's a very good point.
It's a great point, Sean. Like,
Yeah.
there is rarely, I will say, do you see someone just come out, and I think the guy from Virginia, and again, I don't know a ton about it, but I think he actually did. But rarely do you see someone say, you know what, that was wrong. Like,
Yeah.
I was an idiot.
Right.
Or just even say something to the effect, go even deeper. That didn't necessarily reflect my feelings then, and it certainly doesn't now about, but people typically, in my opinion, into what you just said, don't own it like that.
Right.
And become, like we saw with the kid in the game with the basketball game, the Center Grove kid and against Cathedral.
right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
He didn't just come out, people owning things, man, in my opinion, even just from a PR standpoint, in my opinion, it seems to let things go a lot more too. Like from just own it, but aside from that, from just a general human being standpoint, it's just the right thing to do. And to the point made before, like, I think this things like this might be brought up less, and maybe I'm wrong, if people did just fucking own it, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this, I mean, this overlaps into the Liam Neeson thing as well, a little bit as well.
Yeah.
You know, you guys familiar with that?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's perfect at the end of the day, right? We
Yeah.
all make mistakes.
I mean-
Sean made a great point. Like, but if you can prove that you've, that's not, if you're confident in the fact that you're not that person, and you can show that through action, not through just telling someone.
Right. It's
I mean,
not just
everybody
an
in this
apology.
room has done something foul. You know what I mean? But if you own it, I don't know.
I think there's levels to owning it too. I think just saying, "Oh, I'm sorry," is one thing, but is it really an apology if you're just because you know what I mean? Like, and there,
Spoolz hit the nail on the head when he said action with.
well, that's part of being accountable. It's
There you
not.
go.
It's not just apologizing. It's
Yeah.
being accountable for your actions. What are you doing to make me feel like this isn't who you are now?
Right. Yeah.
You know, but
That's a damn good point, man. That you just made. That's actually those are bars. Right.
Because at the end of the day, we all want to believe people can become better and change, right?
for sure,
True.
we have to.
Yeah.
True.
So I think you have to. I think at the end of the day, most people want to give people that chance, but for a lot of folks, I think you have to kind of earn it.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
being accountable, I think, is how you earn that.
I mean,
So-
and I feel like if the argument is made, I saw another argument along those lines that was like the left tends to not want to give, let's say, this senator the benefit of the doubt, or
Right.
Gucci or whoever, whatever, but they also are okay with prison justice reform, right?
Okay.
But they are going through reform
Mhm.
legitimately for things that they're doing. So it's like, yeah. Anyways,
at the end of the day, is it? Yep.
so speaking on that this senator, the thing that happened was in a yearbook in like the 70s, right?
Yeah.
So I mean,
I think he said that he was actually, oddly enough, he went as 𝐀𝐻𝐿.
Oh, okay.
Oh man.
Well,
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew that was.
Yeah.
Yes, he went as 𝐀𝐻𝐿.
Okay.
So that's who Kamala, what's her name, was actually
Probably listening to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious with this conversation. How do you guys feel about the Liam Neeson thing? How do you feel about his, like? Did you take it the way that, like, he hates black people? Because
I wouldn't take it like that. I take it as somebody that was it was a friend that was, what was she, beat up or something?
raped. I
Raped.
think.
He was raped.
Yeah. She was raped.
And I guess the description was a black male, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I think for him to have to specify it, and I'm trying to, because it was almost like he was picking somebody random
Yeah.
and saying a black bastard or whatever the hell he said. That in itself, to me, even if it's said out of anger, does have a little bit of a racist connotation to it. You know what I'm saying? Whether he meant it that way or not, and then for him to go on record and say it too,
There you go. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's
We've all said things out of anger, out of frustration, the heat of the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've all done that. We're all guilty of that. But to Terry's point, when we talk about going on record, to revisit and actually say that you said this, like, that's the part.
yeah.
That's kind of tough. Skittz, jump in. Did you have any thoughts on?
To me, he's being accountable by saying that
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. I'm not mad at
to an
that.
Agreed.
extent.
I'm not mad at that. Skittz, jump in.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not gonna say I can knock anybody's feelings when a loved one suffers from something like that.
Right.
So I try to have some understanding on that level, but yeah, it definitely has a racist tone. But is that uncommon? No, it's not uncommon. I mean, white folks do it to black folks do it to white folks. Growing up, my father, like, my dad called Hindus bug eaters. Like, I mean,
see.
that type of shit. Like,
Yeah.
we all do it. So what I did is I immediately jumped to trying to think through it from his perspective, and I just started to randomly think about some shit, and it was like, all these Taken movies. I wonder if, like, that on top of what he talked about doing was therapeutic for him.
I never thought about it like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that was just my random thought. I said, damn, I wonder if he did 3 of them, right?
I believe there are 3. I saw 1 and 2.
I just
a
started
third.
with some understanding. I just tried to think, and I was like, I just wondered. You know?
Yeah.
I wonder if those movies in some way were intentionally or unintentionally, indirectly therapeutic for him because of the structure of those films. Like if he felt any guilt from what happened to that friend of his or anything like that. So, yeah, I mean, it was fucked up what he said, but transparency. If he doesn't say that the first time, somebody goes digging, then he looks worse.
There
so
you go.
You appreciate him coming out and being that transparent and honest about that up front.
And he obviously he didn't say it in the most elegant way.
Right.
But if he had said it more elegantly, it's still really kind of the same thing. Not, but I mean,
Right.
It's
he
kind
did
of
say,
levels though.
I mean,
transparency.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
Because
true.
like you had, like, if you go down south, you know what I'm saying. Everybody that has family down south know that there's certain parts of town still to this day that you can't go to without being called out of your name, and people are going to say exactly what they feel about you.
I got plenty.
And so
of
that's
family
not
down south,
that's being
100%.
transparent, but that's not a good form of transparency, in my opinion.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And then you have people. There's a lot of people being real transparent with this current president in office as well. So there's kind of levels, in my opinion, to transparency and people being forthright and saying what they really feel. You know what I'm saying? I mean, me personally, I would rather somebody let me know what they really feel so I know how to act and maneuver.
Sure.
But at the same time, it still doesn't make it cool or right.
Where's he from? Does anybody know?
I do not. I'd have to look it up. I do not know
I don't.
where he's from.
Europe.
That's what I mean. I know he's
Yeah.
European, so I don't know if there's.
Spoolz, can you put a ball on that one, and then we can go ahead and get into a little bit of music. Did you have any?
The part that I guess the
Thoughts on
only
that?
thing that stood out to me, and Jay Moore was talking about this too before we started tonight, but it was like it wasn't for him. I guess that kind of hatred coming from anybody is just kind of it's disappointing and it's
Right.
disheartening. So it wasn't like I want to kill the guy that did it, or I want to kill a rapist. I just don't to me, as someone who's not ever really, who just doesn't think that way like that. Like, I've had friends who've been murdered by black people, but I never wanted to go kill a black person.
Right.
Maybe in my anger, I wanted to kill the person who killed my friend.
So did he?
Do you
was
follow what I'm saying?
but
That's the
maybe-
part that's just disheartening.
Maybe
to
I'm
me.
a little confused. When he said, was he just roaming the streets looking for anybody black,
Yes.
or was he looking
That's
for
pretty
that?
much what he
Okay.
said.
That's how it came off to me.
So maybe I'm
Yeah.
misinterpreting that a little bit. I thought he just was in referencing that person.
Nah, it was more. I got
So
a
that
random feel from.
That's
it.
the reason why I would say it wouldn't have been racist, in my opinion, if he was specifically talking about that person.
That person.
I see.
But when he's saying just random anybody,
Well, then
black
that's,
bastard,
That's different.
you know what I'm
That's the
saying?
part that made it a little tough for me.
That's way different.
Yeah.
Then. All
Just
right.
I don't. It's wild to me, man. And Mike, I think you said this, and I think it's correct, or maybe it was Skittz, but I think this was just him getting out in front of something that could potentially happen
Yeah.
with what's going,
Sounds like
with
it.
with more and more things coming out about people. So,
I stand corrected.
I don't,
All right.
Yeah, same here. I'm not forgiving that shit.
yeah, it's wild.
Hey,
That's
there it
him
is.
getting out in front of something.
Those are all interesting takes, especially with Skittz on that point about the movie roles and the possible correlation with that. I never thought about that, so yeah, that's good stuff right there. Let's go ahead and jump into some music. Shout out to North Memphis, South Memphis, Beale Street, county seat. Did I get everything?
Orange Mound.
Shout out to Orange Mound, Philly. We see you.
I
Well-
think Sarah and I are actually maybe looking to go down to Memphis in May. Oh,
Nice.
shit. Yeah, we were
When you
talking about
get-
it today.
When you get down there, tell them we don't want no problems. Make sure you excuse loan.
Mike doesn't want any
And
problems.
Mine's Philly, not Memphis.
oh, you diss Philly. Who
No
That's
one's
what
ever
you did.
dissed Memphis.
I dissed
man.
Memphis. I did because I was talking about how
You're
they
just
say
scared.
music.
You're just as scared of them.
You
Yeah, I
also
don't-
just
scared.
said that
Why are you so scared, Mike?
Project Pat doesn't have any good music.
Oh.
Yeah, he's probably got 10% good music, 90%
All right,
trash.
let's just go in.
Yeah, we're going to
Go
go
ahead.
ahead and Spoolz.
He did-
Thanks, bro.
That-
Drop
so that's why
bases.
we shout out Memphis.
Yeah, so shout out to Memphis, A-Ball, MJG, we see you. Yeah. All right, so so here's a this is something I posted on one of my social media accounts. Lone and I engaged a little bit in this one.
I don't think you qualified.
I might not be. We'll find out. But Skittz being here, I think this is a perfect show for you to be here, brother, because I'm coming to you first. I want to hear your opinion. I know where Lone is. Lone's going to shoot some bullets at me, too. But
I'm not with the violence.
I feel you. I'm not violent.
You
know
hold
what I'm
that
saying?
thing, Mike?
I know I'm not. I don't have that thing. I know there's people that do, but I don't have that thing. But I'm not a street dude, so
Thuggish, ruggish Chamberlain. Bro. Be careful.
Look here, man. I ain't in them streets.
Oh,
I stay out.
CC.
My motto is I stay out of grown folks' business, man. That's what I do. But
It's coming.
no, it's not. No, it's not. But we were talking about the idea or the concept of conscious rap. You know, what defines or how do you categorize conscious rap? What would you use as an example? Who qualifies as such? Like we had this conversation. Lone had some good points. And, you know, we just through conversation, we going back and forth doing a little sparring. And what brought this up was a friend of mine told me that Big Crit he would label Big Crit conscious, as a conscious artist. Now, my post, when I posted that, a few people started coming on. These are all credible people. We talk about music all the time. It's subjective. But to me, in my opinion, Public Enemy, you know, Poor Righteous Teachers, Arrested Development, those are groups that are, I would say, that would lean more towards conscious because there's no variation in their content. Like there is no song about the strip clubs on their album. But on Big Crit's album, what I love about him is I think he makes people music. He'll take you from the church to the strip club, to his grandmother, to his parents, to growing up in Meridian. Like with me, when I listen
country
to rap tunes, stuff that the everyday person can relate to. With Public Enemy, it was like, this is what we about every single time, and there was no variation in the content. X-Clan, good one, X-Clan.
About
So
Dead Prez.
Shout out to Dead Prez. There's another one. So I'm coming to you, Skittz. In terms of the concept of conscious rap, like do we misuse that? Is it easy to just label someone conscious because they storytell or because they, you know, don't talk about the norm? Like I feel like that's what happens a lot. If you don't talk about the norm, you don't talk about the stuff that's popular. In this era, you're automatically deemed conscious. I don't agree with that. What is conscious rap to you?
I'm gonna give you a pass.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. And
Please do.
Honestly, like conscious rap is the opinion of the user.
Okay.
I think really what happened is that conscious rap initially, when it was first called conscious rap, was Poor Righteous Teachers, was X-Clan, was those type of power statements to elevate and motivate you and give you some takeaways, like something, life lessons or something.
Would you say Native Tongues as well? Yeah. Kinda. They had more fun though.
Yeah,
So,
but I mean,
so you
it's
can't
not.
They were
don't
free
have to-
spirits.
Yeah,
Public
you don't
Enemy
have
didn't have no fun. Like they was, that's what I'm saying. Like there is no
Right.
There's no fun. It's like this what we about. We are stomping on stage.
I
Shout
think
to
that
Press
was
Grip.
their fun though.
the spectrum
Shout to
is
Play.
the spectrum is covered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was just talking about this yesterday, and I would say that, you know, just as an example of, I was talking to a friend of mine, son was listening to Imagine Dragons. I was like, then tried to get Whoop, There It Is to play. And then Sucker for Pain came on.
Okay.
Because Shorty likes Suicide Squad.
Okay.
So I started to talk to him if he knew about Logic. He didn't know anything about Logic. He was more concerned with other shit. But at any rate, he's a prime definition of what conscious rap and hip hop could be today. Okay. And mainly because from thank you Netflix for allowing me to watch that little documentary and joint. You know, I knew some things. I knew some things about him, but after watching that, I went into a little more detail and I realized how many kids he's talked off the ledge.
Was that series called Rapture? Okay,
Yes.
just want to double check. Make
Yeah.
sure we're talking about the same thing.
But like the number of kids that have come forth and talked about how his music has talked them off the ledge or reduced that anxiety towards suicide and
Okay.
things like that. So, I think it depends on the generation.
Okay.
It's evolved. It definitely has many more layers now. And that's why I say it's up to the user at this point. It's whatever the user and the listener takes away from from listening to it.
Yeah.
It started out in a silo, and I think now it's expanded much more into it can be manipulated and not in a bad way.
Right.
It just depends. Whatever's bothering you, whatever you need, whatever that music brings out of you or gives to you.
Right.
I mean, there's people that are in that lane, but I think everybody should be allowed to make that determination, And I think there's a lot of opportunities to make it conscious for you. Everybody's trying to motivate somebody in some way,
True.
by making music. So it just depends on what you attach to.
Lone and I talked about this where we were initially talking about this, about how subjective music is. We talk about that all the time on the show, though. Like, it's really, to Skittz' point about how you take it, how you consume it. So I dig that 100%. Lone, jump in. What's your thoughts? We've talked about it, but just, so everybody
I
can see
agree
you
with
pro.
what Skittz says, because I feel like nobody is conscious 100% of the time.
Mhm.
I don't believe that. Like people, or let me actually address that a little better. My argument was simply that what are we defining as conscious?
Right.
Are we saying that because, and the logic point was perfect, because to all those kids that watch him and get something from him, that's extremely conscious.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like Public Enemy.
Not at all.
You know what
Not
I
at
mean?
all.
And so, like, I feel like that term has been, I don't want to necessarily say misused over the years, but it kind of has. Because I remember in the mid 2000s when people would call like common conscious and stuff like that, and
Right.
Black Star. I'm like, yeah, okay, but it almost had like a negative connotation to it, like you're not allowed to have fun, you're not allowed to have like anything other than this message that you want to push out all the time. And I'm just like, just because they have other songs about other things in their life, it means they're not conscious anymore. That's just dumb to me.
I feel you.
And so I think maybe the term itself is just not accurate.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Shout out to Miss Fat Booty.
It's like
definitely
Because of Miss Fat Booty, Mos Def is not a conscious rapper.
right.
right.
I think what some people misconstrue or misinterpret are soulful artists. They automatically consider them as a conscious artist because they're not having fun all the time. So you have artists that every song is fun and I'm doing this, I'm in the club, I'm doing drugs, I'm fucking girls. Everything is that fun. And a lot of people that listen to music would rather say that things that are, or content that actually has some substance to it is automatically conscious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that goes to Sean's point as far as people misusing the word conscious. Because it is true, back in our day, when we were kids, X-Clan, Public Enemy, Black Sheep, even Black Sheep had party songs. I mean, get with this, get with that. That's a party song.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
But these were considered conscious rappers. I think you had even mentioned 𝗏𝗏 𝐀𝐿 at one point, but we kind of dismantled that argument as far as them being conscious.
No, I said they weren't. I was saying
Okay.
I couldn't label them as conscious.
All right.
That was my take on them.
And then my rebuttal is, what's conscious mean?
I mean,
because Miss Fat Booty is conscious rap to me.
See,
about
because it tells a story
about a very specific.
He's consciously telling a story. But
And
what
that-
people do though, especially a lot of people that don't really know hip hop and know music like that.
Yeah.
They always, if anybody's telling a story or something that you literally have to follow along with, it's automatically assumed that it's conscious.
Right.
Which is not the truth.
Not at all.
Right.
Not at all. Like Bonita Applebaum, there's nothing conscious about that to me.
I left my wallet in El
There's
Segundo.
nothing conscious about that. Electric Relaxation.
The conscious
it's
part
not
of
a
that
conscious
is
record
him
to me.
realizing that he left his wallet in El Segundo.
But to me, that's not, Welcome to the Terror Dome. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, I get, and to both of y'all points, y'all both made the point about generational. Maybe that's the case. Maybe I'm thinking from when I came up, what I saw as, you know, conscious rap versus how it has evolved now. Because someone was like, yo, you really could say Kendrick could be, today he could be labeled as conscious, perhaps. Who am I to say that he might not, right? Like, it's all subjective. I get it. I guess I'm thinking in terms of, again, what I said when we initially started about the lack of or no variation in the content when you look at the groups that I named, because
so
they stay.
Define that even further. Let's take away conscious because it's a general term. What are they talking about in those songs?
Everything that was Public Enemy to me was pro-black, or the words you used, militant. When we were talking on Facebook. Like, everything was that. Yeah,
so
like,
that's what. So perhaps the term conscious would be better used as a trait and not as an overall label for a person or for a song.
I could dig that.
And secondarily, and Sean, you touched on this, and to kind of bring, I don't know if you were headed this way, but this is what I wanted to say. Conscious of what?
That's exactly what I said.
You know, what is someone making you conscious of? For a lot of people, you look at groups that you look at people like Brand Nubian, and you look at groups like KMD, they were making people very conscious of Black history and things that perhaps you weren't taught in school and stuff like that. So I think anyone who was Afrocentric at one point, it was maybe labeled conscious, but that didn't necessarily, like, all of KMD's songs weren't about race or anything like that. You know what I mean? But they were from a Afrocentric standpoint, very conscious. You know, Arrested Development would be another example of that. But you know, conscious of what? Politically conscious. Immortal Technique is extremely politically conscious.
100%.
But I think that's, you know, again, I think that term is probably, again, better. Like, when you said Big Crit's not a conscious rapper, it's almost to me like a trite argument to make.
Okay.
Like, who cares? Because he makes conscious songs. But
he
does
does.
he have to be a conscious rapper? You know what I mean? Who gives a shit?
Right,
at the end of the day, he's just a really talented guy who I've heard make, to your point, and the reason I also enjoy him is he can make he runs the whole gambit.
Yeah.
I wonder if this was started along the lines. When do you think you guys first started hearing conscious rapper pop up? Was it when, like, the South started making noise and they've wanted to distinguish themselves?
No, I heard it before that.
Was it way before that?
Yeah,
though?
I heard people using the term conscious rapper early 90s. Like, so before the Southern Surge even came about, people were talking about they were conscious, and kind of like the I know this is funny, but like the character we were just talking about on In Living Color.
Oh,
that's in jail.
Yeah, Damon Wayans' character in jail.
When he's reading all these big words and shit. Yeah. He was pretty much making fun of the conscious-esque type person back then. You know what I'm saying? So
it's almost like anytime a song or someone's trying to maybe teach something, or it's a little bit more serious, all of a sudden it gets labeled that, which I think is kind of silly and again, trite.
So
I definitely remember a time when it was almost like, especially where I was from, and maybe the online boards that I was at the time, everybody would kind of like talk down, especially if you're extra underground.
Yep.
You know, if you're not extra underground, you know, oh, well, they're not saying anything. But it was almost like an argument against Southern music. And Little Brother kind of parodied it a little bit with all the stuff they put out.
No
you know,
doubt.
like the South has something to say, even all the way back to, you know, what was that, Outkast?
Yeah. Source of
You know
Words.
what I mean? So what year was that?
93.
That's
That's what I'm
94.
saying. You know, like obviously that was going on back then. If
Yeah.
he has to make that statement,
No doubt.
so maybe there's something there. I don't know.
I want to come back to Skittz. Go ahead, Skittz. I'm sorry. You had a point. Go ahead.
Social issues.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have this like down as a fact, but it just seems that it was birthed. Conscious rap was birthed based on social issues.
Right.
You know,
I think you look at the first socially conscious song I can think of is Grandmaster Flash.
Okay.
The Message. It's like 83. You know,
It's also one of the first songs that talks about mental health.
Yeah. Yep.
Good point.
It does.
Good point.
But that's, you know, to your point, it's social issue. I mean, that song is focused on social issues. So
Yeah.
The artist to me that I guess is the poster child for which way do we go when we talk about conscious versus whatever. Or at least stands out in my opinion is Tupac. Because Tupac, if you think about Jeezy, you think about all these guys that focus on his thug life tat, right? Oh, it's thug life, Pac,
It was an
bandana, thug
acronym,
life.
though.
Right, but what I'm saying, that's my point. But
Well, people missed that part.
there was a meaning behind everything that dude did.
Mm-hmm.
So you think about when he came out, we talk about the video for Trapped, he in the jail cell, the cameras moving around, all that. It's like that's the same guy that evolved and you know had, you know, what's your phone number? He had I Get Around and all that. So he's the guy that I always think
also
about.
had Keep Your Head Up.
There we go. So he's the guy that I always think about. It's like, yo,
On the same album.
So what?
And you used the word evolved.
He did evolve. Yeah, Public Enemy ain't evolved though. They like 55 years old, still talking about the same
But
thing.
Pac mixed those genres or different types of rap on every album he had.
Right.
Even on Machiavelli, where he's talking about killing everybody,
Definitely had
there's
tossed it up.
still Crazy on there.
Crazy. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Crazy to me is one of the best songs I've ever heard. Like if you literally sit down and listen to what he's saying in that,
Yeah.
that's conscious as fuck.
Yeah. I'm with you. I ain't mad at you
Yeah.
there. Me Against the World. Yeah. Temptations.
Man,
Yeah,
that whole album.
That whole album. Right.
Now,
What-
Apocalypse was the more militant, political type conscious.
Heavy.
Right.
You're right. Heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. But to Lone's point, there was evolution in his discography as he continued to grow.
Right.
You want to jump in, Skittz, anything on Pac in terms of just what we're talking about or nah? He's like, nah. Pac.
I mean,
I ain't know. I said it like one of them dudes that was about that thug life, huh? Pac.
no,
I'm
I'm enjoying.
so.
I'm actually just enjoying it. I mean, I love everything about Pac, so
Me too.
I
I agree.
don't. I'm just absorbing it. Y'all ain't said nothing bad about him, so y'all safe.
Yeah, it's not going to happen here.
He's waiting for somebody to get out of pocket, huh?
Sure was. Sure was.
Speaking of conscious rap,
Yeah.
Cardi B is conscious.
Yeah. Spoolz almost spit his water on him.
just like,
don't he?
just like that was probably the best transition we've ever had.
Yeah.
I felt
Spoolz
it.
almost spit his water out on that
I
one.
felt what Lone was about to do.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
Lone.
I hope so.
Yo, man, that's classic. That's timeless, by the way. Anyway,
This is what you wanted to talk about. The meat
I
and
mean,
potatoes.
well, you know,
Let's talk about 'em,
we
man.
can't even
Grammys.
We can't really go too far because we run out of time. But
We got all the time in the world.
I
Do
thought
what you want.
with Cardi B winning,
We own our own publisher, Mike.
I
Yeah.
see you, Lone, with that business. I see you. Cardi B winning Rap Album of the Year as a woman. She's first to ever do that.
Congrats.
Congrats to her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She had, to Terry's point, we were talking about this earlier, multiple hit records, right? So reward how you want to reward. We've talked about the Grammys. We talked about the criteria. We've talked about that before.
Every one of her songs that she's came out with has
Definitely charted. Yep.
since Bodak Yellow.
In my opinion, Nipsey Hussle had the best album last year.
I mean,
That's just
for what the
I mean, you had-
Grammys are,
for what we would, I guess.
The
I'm not gonna
Source
say we, for
Awards
me.
don't exist anymore.
They do not. But Nipsey Hussle to me, and everybody talks about, well, Cardi was this, she had the baby, and it took a while, and this, that. I'm like, Nipsey took 5 years to make this album. So the
I
time,
mean, Nipsey's album is better than Cardi's
way better.
album.
But I always tell people, I
Cardi's
get why
is more
she won.
commercially successful.
Right. And
successful. I feel like
Commercially.
commercially successful,
Right.
but I feel like his album could be just as commercially prominent if he was Cardi B.
Well
Or if he
said.
had, if he
was
had mainstream singles,
Mm-hmm.
because
Well-
the masses aren't able to consume a Nipsey Hussle, but the masses all know who Cardi B is.
some of
You
those
gotta-
records on Victory Lap, though, could be pushed,
Listen,
though, if
listen
you
what
wanted
I'm
to do
saying. Listen what I'm saying. Cardi B is a personality.
that. True.
Cardi B is in your face. When you turn on the TV, now you're going to see her on a Pepsi commercial. If you've never seen Cardi B before in your life,
Yep.
you're going to see her on a Pepsi commercial. You're going to see her talking about, what's the latest thing she had talked about? Something to do with President Trump.
Tommy
or something.
Lauren.
Tommy
Yeah,
Lauren.
Dog Walk, Tommy Lauren. Yeah.
She's in your face. She started out on TV. She has a internet prominence.
No
social
question.
media prominence.
Yep.
Yeah.
She fits the mold of what's popular right
she's
now.
just a popular
Yeah.
being. She
Yeah.
is that embodiment, which is why they had her win this year, most likely. Is my
Yeah.
guess. Grammy's supposed to be about the music, but we've already talked about this.
Yeah.
I mean, you have
that's-
people that are on a board that vote on who gets these awards. So
Yeah.
it doesn't even matter what we think
at all.
because there's a bunch of men or women.
We can apply to be on
That's-
that board if we want.
We
Yeah,
need
but I
to.
think you have to have a certain number of songs charting or something in order to be a.
I don't know.
Make a chart.
I know people. I know people that
something
are.
like
I
that.
mean, I know people that are on that board,
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
too.
and they don't have any. I know some people that don't have any songs.
Yeah. I know a couple
Do they
people that
have
don't have any
do they have
songs that are on it.
credits on songs?
I don't think.
I know
so.
one person that doesn't have any credits on any records that is definitely on that board.
And I also
I
know
ain't
that.
gonna,
Are you talking
put
about
him
the
out
media
there.
person?
yeah,
Yeah,
he's on the
And
board. So I don't know. You know, I don't know. There's
I don't know.
certain
Now, granted,
criteria.
it costs to be on it.
I
but-
believe that. I don't know what the tag is, what the ticket is, but
Yeah.
I believe that. Skittz, you got anything to say about her winning? You know, best rap album? Is there gonna be a?
Well, her won best R&B album.
Dang, I like that. I see you.
And what J Rock win?
J-Rock won.
He won for the collab with Fute. Was it Fute?
But what did he win though?
Yeah, I don't know what is
rap
the name of this.
Rap
Is that what it is?
performance, I believe.
With him,
Future,
Kendrick, and Future?
Yeah, rap performance.
Really,
For
they had to pick that one.
King's
They
Dead.
picked that
That's
one.
a hard song though.
That song,
Except for
Minus
Future's
Future.
part is trash.
yeah, except for Future song.
I'm too old for
part.
that. Skittz, jump in. You got anything to say about Cardi B winning rap album of the year? Anything?
Well, first and foremost, congratulations
Yes,
to her,
sir.
for real.
I agree. 100%.
Oh, she is the first woman to ever win that award.
That is a fact.
But
Historic.
her timing couldn't have been any better. You know, I'm not going to say any names, but she definitely came in and slowly started to fill a fading void,
For
you
sure.
know, in that particular area.
That's a fact.
And she hasn't taken the whole thing, but she got a good bit of that crater, and she's planted flowers and put up a couple little, you know, pop-ups and all. I
Yeah.
mean, she's doing it.
That's a
and
fact.
Some points.
I mean, that you can't even say she rode the wave. Like, she's her own wave now.
Absolutely.
Like,
100%.
I mean, she just did it, and the timing was right, and she's hot. And I will say, like, the angle from the previous filler that the ratchets can now get down.
The Ratchets can now get down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to
the
the
more
City
the more
Girls.
gutter,
Yeah.
you know, listener can now
Be empowered.
I'm with that.
your girl ain't. I mean, she ain't. When she tried to twerk, she lost it. The stiff buns on the
Yeah.
twerk.
Okay.
Who we talking about?
That's not gangster.
Who we talking
That's
about?
not gangster.
We gotta
That's
be talking
not.
about Nicki.
You
Nicki?
lost it. I
See,
said
I'm
I
not
wasn't.
gonna-
I said I wasn't saying
I'm
no
not gonna
names.
shoot
I'm
any
just-
darts at Nicki because
I
it's
try
funny.
not to.
It's funny. Well, I'm not saying that you are per se, but it's almost like everybody that was Nicki fans
Yeah.
is like, oh, I'm Team Cardi. Why can't
Yeah.
you like both of them?
You can.
I do.
Well, not you.
No, I know.
I'm talking about in general. There's a lot of people out Cardi,
don't.
this
I only
Cardi
like
that well,
Cardi.
BET is actually in hot water because after Cardi,
She definitely
One.
Yeah.
a tweet was sent out that says something negative towards Nicki Minaj.
Somebody.
So
she's
Nicki
being
Minaj
dragged by or
decided
something.
that she's not performing
Yeah.
at any BET events this
Well,
summer.
It's this. Not to get overly this way, but it's the patriarchy in a sense where we can only have one
Yeah.
woman in that power seat at a time.
That shit cray.
Right?
We talked about that shit too
We
on
did.
the episode. I can't remember which one, but we definitely addressed that. And it's just weird that they can't coexist in the same space,
Right.
and people can't root for both of them. You know what I'm saying? Nicki has never won a Grammy amongst a lot of other artists who you shared in a post. But that's common though. We know
Yeah.
that. There's artists now that aren't even submitting their albums for Grammy consideration because to Drake's point, he got up there and won an award and said, "You don't need this."
You see how fast they cut him off?
Yeah, they cut him off because he was up there actually telling the truth.
He was telling the truth.
He was like, if you have fans in your state
yeah.
and city and all over the world and people are buying tickets to come out and see you,
Yeah.
you don't need this award.
Yeah.
You already won.
They cut him off with the
They cut him
quickness.
off because he was telling the truth.
Yeah. That's true.
It's God's plan.
It is.
Yo, man, y'all get your boy, man. Get your boy. Jay Diff, get your boy.
It's a fact.
Spoolz, what do you think? Well, I think
I was coming to you,
congrats
Spoolz.
to Cardi
I was coming
B
to you,
for sure,
bro.
man. That's an awesome thing for her to have won. Also, congrats to Anderson .𝗏 for winning the Grammy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Anderson .𝗏.
I think
Yeah.
another one or his first. I don't know. Guy's incredibly talented.
Facts.
And congrats to him too.
Word.
Yo, that's gangster, man.
I guess I'm done.
All right, man. So, is there anything else that I've missed?
Snoop didn't win that gospel though.
Oh man, that would have been
We
dope.
talked about that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
He
that would've
didn't
been
get
dope.
that gospel boy, but
Yeah.
he's still Grammy-less.
How many joints was on that album, man? 25,
Oh, a
30
lot.
joints.
Young Thug won a Grammy.
Yeah, he did. Bless his heart.
He
Shout
did.
out to the criteria.
Indeed.
All right.
All right, so Future's a Grammy winner. Shout out to Young Thug. All right, so is there anything that I'm missing? Anybody got anything popping before we wrap it up?
I have. What do I have this week? Oh, Neo Soul Paint Night
Nice.
at 𝗏𝗏 Saturday.
What time?
That is from 6:30 to 9:30, I believe. Where is it? 7? Somewhere in there.
We're not on the bill, so I don't know what time it starts.
Well, nobody's on the bill.
Okay, so when does it start?
6:30
Who's
or
hosting
7?
it? I don't know. You think somebody that was a part of it would know the
I
time?
mean,
I don't
this
know.
this is only like the 20th time I've done it, Mike.
And you still don't know the time.
Listen,
That's what I'm talking about.
6:37.
Okay,
You know how it goes.
I do. You're right. I apologize.
Come on,
Lo-fi hip hop night is the same night.
it is.
7 to 10 at Patron Saint.
Word. Anybody else got anything?
Hey,
missing?
real quick, if you're listening and you don't have anything to do for Valentine's Day, this is a great experience for you to come out to the Neo Soul Paint Night. You can
Word.
actually paint a canvas of you and your significant other or yourself
Yeah.
or whatever you want
What
to
about your
create.
cat?
You can definitely paint your cat. You're gonna get like a paint kit. You're gonna be able to become a Picasso overnight.
Mm.
Mike, no,
Or
not
j-
this Mike, but camera Mike, no. He was there.
I like how you reduced you to camera Mike. Can I start calling you that?
Camera
Shout out to the
man.
homie camera Mike.
You can be Picasso or Johnny the third grader.
Word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
straight up. And I'm playing some good ass music, so
Word.
believe
That's what's
that.
up.
good time.
All
Red
right.
August, he know what's up, man.
Shout out to the team for Lonegevity, DJ Jay Diff / Bob Ross, the homie Skittz, we appreciate you, DJ Spoolz, Camera Mike, we see you. Jay Moore is in the building as well. This is episode 120. It's a wrap. We'll see
Hey,
y'all
well,
next week.
don't rap yet.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
George Crumb, Black History Month fact. If you like potato chips, did you know George Crumb created the potato chip?
Wow.
I did
Black
not
man
know
created
that.
the potato chip. Yo, March is Disability Awareness Month.
I'm with that.
Represent.
I'm with that.
Represent.